Superman is out in theaters this weekend with James Gunn kicking off the live action side of his DC universe. And this one stars David Corenswet, Nicholas Holt, and the great Rachel Brosnahan. But is this a great Superman movie? I'll let you know in this non spoiler review next.
Hey, buddy, eyes up here.
Your choices, your actions. That's what makes you who you are.
Hey everyone, and welcome to this non-spoiler review for Superman, this brand new film out in theaters this weekend, taking on the legendary character of Superman and, of course, Lois Lane and Lex Luthor, as well as along with assorted other characters that are involved in this movie. And this one comes to us from director James Gunn. As I said in this intro, it is the opening of the live action side of his new DC universe. And is this a film that's worth it? Are you going to enjoy seeing it this weekend? Will you like it? Well, all I can do is tell you my points of view. So here we go. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. You guys know I've been on James Gunn for some of the comments he's made in these interviews and some of the missteps he's made in the rollout for the movie. But I've always enjoyed everything the actors have said about the film, really enjoyed the interviews, getting to see more with David Corenswet, Rachel Brosnahan, Nicholas Holt, hearing their approaches to the characters and their approaches to making the movie. So I was reserving my judgment for the film separately from my issues with James Gunn. By the end of the film, I was absolutely beaming from ear to ear with joy at what I saw. Is it a perfect film? Absolutely not. There are some issues with the movie that I'll highlight a little bit later in this non-spoiler review. But overall, I think James Gunn nailed the target he was aiming for here. This is a film brimming with hope and humor, serious stuff that goes on, a beautiful love story in the middle of it, and by the end, a very strong message about kindness and being good to one another, and how that is kind of like the punk rock of our society now. Maybe you accept that, maybe you don't, but that is the message of the movie. The overall plot of the film is that Superman has already been around for about 3 years. We've had metahumans on Earth for about 3 centuries. And Lex Luthor is mad at Superman, wants to get rid of him because he doesn't like the way Superman essentially has taken away attention from him. And he becomes a frustrated man-child about it all. So he sets up this whole thing in order to be able to destroy Superman. That is his overall goal. Now, we've seen that in other films and other TV shows and in the comics. That's nothing new, but there's something about the approach here that I think rings really true and works so well for us moviegoers here in 2025, especially those of us who are connoisseurs of superhero movies. This one absolutely nails it. I mean, James Gunn, dare I say, this is auteur adjacent or auteur-ish in his approach to these superhero movies. He somehow finds a way to get that right mix of humor and seriousness and also messaging through the whole time, so that by the end you find yourself having had a great time with the movie and maybe having some food for thought afterwards. And I thought this film absolutely accomplished that. As for the acting, I have to say David Corenswet is fantastic as Superman. I really enjoy him in the role. Right off the bat, you could sense he's got this confident, raw, vulnerable energy, and his emotions are right there for you to take a look at. He does have that swagger. He does have that smirk that would come with a young age and thinking you know better. So it's great that the other characters in the film kind of call him out on it, kind of push him on it. Lois Lane does that in that interview scene that is extended much longer in the movie. And I enjoy the fact that he takes it, understands what's going on, adjusts, but still stays true to who he is. And there are some really beautiful emotional moments with him and Pa and Ma Kent and his situation with Lois and with the other characters in the movie, especially when Metamorpho shows up, which I found to be a fascinating element of what he did as a performer with the role of Superman. Rachel Brosnahan, fantastic. Again, as I just mentioned with Cornsweat, he's fantastic. She's fantastic. They're fantastic together. She has a great no-nonsense energy here, a palpable electricity courses through their chemistry. The one negative I will say about the movie is that I would like to have had more with her being a journalist and less with her being Superman's worried girlfriend. And there is some journalistic stuff with her, but I just wanted a bit more. But she delivers here. She is the best Lois Lane since Margot Kidder. I know some of you may push back on that, but I really like her in the film. I like the way that she commands the screen, commands the energy of the scenes that she's in, and takes no guff while also seeming very accessible and open emotionally as well, which I like, even though she's struggling with her emotions, as we see in the relationship with Superman. Nicholas Hoult is great here. I've seen and heard from a number of people that he was the standout in the early footage they'd seen at CinemaCon or at screenings, and they weren't wrong. He really brings an incredible energy as Lex Luthor in the film. He is, as I said, the frustrated man-child, but he's got a bit of there's almost a bit of tragedy to him. Like, he is so caught up in this anger and his maniacal desire to destroy Superman, and he's indulging the worser instincts of himself as a human being. And there are a couple of really surprisingly evil moments, considering the energy of the movie, that kind of shocked me, but in a good way in the film. And I like the way it works in the movie. He does an incredible job bringing to life Lex Luthor here. And it's a Luthor we've seen shades of before, as I said earlier, but a whole new approach here from Nicholas Hoult that puts all those shades together and adds a few more on his own. The Justice Gang, I think Nathan Fillion is fantastic. I wasn't the biggest fan of him being cast as Guy Gardner. He's not fully my Guy Gardner, but he's a damn good Guy Gardner for this movie. Isabella Merced is good as Hawkgirl as well. Would like to have seen more with her. Maybe somewhere in those cut 20 minutes there was more with her, because I mean, I've really been enjoying her in numerous franchises now, and I want to see her break out and get more real estate in movies to show what she can do as an actress. But for me, Ed Gathegi is the guy who steals the movie. Every scene he is in, he is fantastic. I'm not too familiar with Ed as an actor, so for me, this was my first time seeing him in something for an extended amount of time, and I enjoyed every second of him on screen. There is this no-nonsense tech energy to him, but also like this kind of like, what are you talking about? Like, this is, everything seems so logical to him in what he should be doing, yet these illogical things are happening throughout the movie, which challenge him, and his reactions to them are really funny. You know, like Tarantino has actors that really understand how to be Tarantino actors in his movie. Ed Gathegi understands how to be a James Gunn actor in a James Gunn movie, and he really delivers. The mixture of humor and seriousness throughout his interactions with Superman, with Lois, with the Justice Gang, everything there works so well. I wanted more with him, and I hope we get a Mr. Terrific, a TV series, or maybe a spinoff, because he is damn good in the role, and it would be a shame if this is the only time we ever see him as Mr. Terrific. And as far as Crypto goes, it worked. Listen, I wasn't a fan of the Crypto stuff in the trailers, didn't enjoy some of the scenes. I thought it was a little annoying, but in the context of the movie, it really works. If you're a dog lover, this one speaks your language. Absolutely. There are some really sweet moments between Crypto and Superman. And when he gets involved in the action sequences and scenes, he is damn good the way he's used here in the film. And there's some funny moments, some brutal moments, some sweet moments, and some, if you're a dog lover, you know, some frustrating moments with him as a character, but it all worked. And there's a sweetness to him by the end that you're just like, you want to see more from Crypto the Superdog. So it all just kind of worked here throughout the movie. Now, as for criticisms with the movie, I will say that I do have, as I mentioned, the Lois Lane criticism, but also some of the stuff in the middle, some of the plot points start to get a little rushed. They get from one emotional beat to the next emotional beat. And that to me took a little bit away from the movie and the film, especially when you see things turning quickly against Superman. Considering how cynical we are as a society now, I think that should have taken a bit more time for it to happen in order for it to really sink in and us understand that it naturally progressed to this point. And so we could see why the reactions went the way they went. So those are some criticisms I have in the movie. Some of the stuff with the warring factions, it gets a little cheeseballish. And I will say this, this is absolutely influenced by the Superman animated series. You can see that all over the movie. Yes, Silver Age stuff. Yes, references and all of that. But it really has the energy of an animated episode of that series. And I kind of enjoyed seeing the live action version of that. And it worked for me. The wackiness combined with the seriousness and the humor all kind of hit the right tones for me overall. So I give the film 4 out of 5 cowboy hats. It is damn good. It's not quite up there past the 4 level, but it's a damn good Superman movie. And it's a damn good announcement for what we might be getting here going forward in the Gunn DC universe. Right now, he's 2-0. I enjoyed Creature Commandos, and I enjoyed Superman. Did I like the finale of Creature Commandos? Maybe not so much, but overall, I enjoyed the show, and I enjoyed this movie, even with some of its flaws. So right now, James Gunn, 2-0 in the DC universe, and we'll see what's coming with Supergirl. We'll see what's coming with other stuff that's coming down the road here from DC. There are 2 post-credit scenes. I should say that before I leave this review, so stick around for both of those scenes. And there are a couple of fun cameos in the movie that I think you all are going to enjoy and work really well in the film as well. Well, if you get a chance to go see the movie, let me know what you thought about it down in the comments section below. I'm definitely going back a few times, so I'll probably have more and more thoughts before we do our spoiler review with the Geek Buddies a little bit later on this weekend, or maybe early next week. Look for us to announce that. But yeah, I want to hear from you. Let me know what you thought about the film and get a chance to see it down in the comment section below. What worked for you, what didn't work for you, what stood out for you, what Easter eggs you caught, all that stuff. Love you all's points of views and analysis of movies, and I really appreciate reading the comment threads when you all chime in. All right, thanks so much for watching this. Take care of yourselves. Be well, and I'll see you next time with another spoiler review here on the soon-to-be John Rocha channel. Take care.